Hello everybody, it is I, your favorite VTuber Android Airhead, and this is Apollo Justice, aka Ace Attorney 4! Ladies and gentlemen, we're here! It took so long for me to finish Ghost Trick. Well, Ghost Trick was also great, I liked Ghost Trick a lot, but you know, we're here, finally! I need to turn up the game audio. I think. Wow, it's much quieter than I thought. Dick drift. Alright. Okay, I think we're good. Anyway. Begin! Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Guys, we're here for fun. Yeah! Alright. Anyway. Episode 1. Turnabout Trump. I have a feeling this is about to be a very different game than I thought it would be. Someone is an artist. Candle going out. There's a dingy basement. Oh yeah, I should clarify. A few years ago, long before... I think even before I started streaming, because there wasn't an Apollo Justice collection, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play this on the 3DS because... someone gave me a copy of it, I was like, sure, I'll do this. I only played the first trial, but I do know the first Twisted Trial. You lose. Arrgh! Arrgh! Eek! Someone died. Classic Ace Attorney. Is it really Ace Attorney if someone doesn't die in like a small cutscene in the beginning? I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. Cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Classic stuff. Love it. Wait, hold on. Options. Let's make sure. Gameplay. Text box transparency. Hold on. Does low mean that I can... Okay. Let's go with medium. Because then I can still see the model pretty clearly, but I can also read the text a lot easier. Yeah, medium. Alright, anyway. Remember that being a thing that, well, subtitles on. How the fuck else would I understand what they're saying? There's no voice acting in this. There's no, like, yeah, look at that. There's not even an option for voice. What do you mean no subtitles? How would I read? Anyway. Yeah, I think we're good. Right, okay. Wait, it did save that, right? Okay, yeah. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. Panicked, palms sweaty, knees weak, mom's spaghetti. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose, I'm fine. That screeching noise, is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine! I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout, I'm fine! Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. I did it again! As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Let him down into the gallows, gotcha. Drift gotten, sir! I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. you might want to introduce yourself to the client. And who would the client be? My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. Is he a tsundere? Defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. There he is. Whoa! Good morning. Morning. All up to you today. First trial? Nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're... Oh, fine! I'm fine! Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Oh, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so... why? You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir! Okay. I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice! April 20th, 10 o'clock a.m. 23 minutes later. District Court, Court number 2. Here we go, he's back! I don't even know how much time has passed since the third game at this point, but like, he's exactly the same age. He does not age. He has not died. He's still very old. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? The voice sounds a bit strained. Sounds like that normally for me. Mr. Gavin? Yes, Your Honor? I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes. Well, always? Really? Anyway. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn... Why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Well, best other than Phoenix. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have cords of steel? And let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Hey. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I presume we'll find out over the course of this game. I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges... Mr. Payne?
To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains.
Oh, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see.
The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club. The Borscht... Fucking... The thing that's like a Russian dish of like peppers and tofu or so, I don't know what it is. Point is, the crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him. Wham! On the head. Smack! Killed him cold.
A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
Phoenix Wright. A pianist?
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice.
Note that it comes in a wine bottle. But it's not wine, it's just straight up grape. You know what, that's very on brand for Phoenix. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Deadly bottle added to the court record. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. Court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use RB to look at the evidence so far.
RB? What?
I just like to imagine, like, when characters say button prompts, if I just said that in real life, people would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, oh yeah, you can crouch by hitting the B button, and they're like, wait, what? What? No, what? Anyway, I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use RB. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler? I barely know her.
According to his passport, he'd been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing.
It doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean.
Damn, someone hit the sauce a little too hard. Or maybe the sauce hit him.
As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
A phone scammer?
No, a gambler.
It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that. A game in the purest sense. In the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again?
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. I, however, am an involuntary celibate, and therefore...
That will be our first order of business here, then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards. Look at Phoenix. Phoenix isn't stressed at all. He's got this. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime. My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. The competition. I'm a pianist by trade, and I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Very well. The defense may begin with a cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it.
Are you alright? You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? Where?
It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too.
My brain feels strained and raspy, sir.
You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. No, you've never done one yourself, have you?
Also, the music is... I'm quite fond of it so far. I like it.
Care for a refresher?
To do. Can I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? I'm good. I'm an expert. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered.
I think you'd better do more than think. You know it or you do not.
I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present.
Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it.
Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright. As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it.
The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I like the little face icons coming on the bottom and the top.
Hold on, present. Let's see. Time of death was 2 a.m. April 17th. The basement of the Borscht Bowl Club. Okay. Wait, 2 decks of cards. Hold on. Oh, whatever. You mentioned that earlier, 2 decks of cards. Okay. Against by trade, hardly presented all. Hardly play at all. Alright. Press him.
You can hardly play?
Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. Usually all they want.
Was that supposed to be a boast just now?
The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? Like I just said. Alright, press him on this. Let's just press him on everything. There's only 5 of these. We're fine.
They pay you just to play poker?
That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all.
Bah! Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yes, your imagination is always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I've played poker for 7 years in that little room.
Okay, so it's been at least 7 years since the end of Trials and Tribulations.
And I've never lost once.
What?
See why the customers come now. See why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. Quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw.
Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time?
As I said, I'm a professional.
He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible?
Huh, poker? I do know her.
The room in the crime scene photo, is it a traction?
It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day.
Black market?
All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room. A smoky room, gambling hoods, you know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun.
Why 2 decks of cards?
2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other was blue. I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. You can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Yep, just like in that one game Balatro. Can't believe they turned that into a murder case.
Yes, a game of hands. This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently.
That's right. It was a simple game, after all.
Are you sure?
Huh?
People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice.
I mean, some people are. It's not a good reason, but it happens.
Okay. I need more water. I always need more water. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment the crime occurred. Yet you claim no connection to the crime.
And that's strange.
What's strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense.
Objection!
Done.
Ah! I completely let that one slip by.
Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir?
Right, there's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you.
Sure, why not?
Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony. That's not entirely true. This literally says it has your fingerprints.
Objection!
So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle. This grape juice bottle? Yeah, look at that. I got an achievement for that. Right? So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payton?
I examined the bottle in question, you see. And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection!
Don't need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine. Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears. And our case.
But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant?
Good question. Well, that's true. Prints alone don't have.
Of course, oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. These fingerprints belong to a bear.
Huh?
But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted. And there can be only one reason for that.
Clonking someone on the head with it. Yes. The brain someone with the bottle.
Honestly, to have brained the guy with the bottle and not broken the bottle, that's quality glass right there, you know? Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? Probably. I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright, but still, that...
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above the ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made the call?
And if we ring it, it'll probably have like the silver,
Silver Samurai?
no, Steel Samurai theme. God, why am I forgetting my lore? Alright.
The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he's being uncooperative?
Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this.
I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about...
What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred? How could you possibly know this?
That's a good question. How indeed?
The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness.
You're as good as they say you are.
So someone else was in the room the night of the crime? That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready?
Oh, here we go.
Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand.
The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she's been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people!
Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
You are sure?
I swear it on my gavel. Which has never been shown? Now that I think about it. Maybe there was that thing in the beginning of the second game where Phoenix had a dream, but I don't know. Please come out.
Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure it is okay.
Now the prosecution... well, wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia?
Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
She's a professional... what? Russian? And that would be...
My name is Olga Orly. Orely. Olga Orly. I'm employed as a waitress in the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
My Russian accent is abysmal, good God. Then, why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how would you say it, other service.
I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures?
Da. Like, for example, this one.
That's the defendant?
Indeed, on the night of the murder. Man in white hat is one who has gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order! Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is the same way I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers, casually.
And the court will casually accept this new evidence.
Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout, we call it.
Excuse me? The hideout?
It is the room where a famous gangster bad guy was arrested.
I didn't realize they arrested Guilty Gear characters, but anyway.
His room where murder took place.
What?
Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post my courtroom door later for you. Da. Photos will be numbered, and you will write which ones you want a copy of.
So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga O'Reilly, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well. Witness, you will testify to the court about that night's events.
That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Da. The victim, he plays the whole time with his hands on his locket as his neck. Then, last hand is done. Something terrible has happened. Da. That man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death.
Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose.
Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection?
But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as a prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime.
Okay, so he's got a full house, and the other one has also a full house, but of higher, stuff. All the cards match up well enough.
The hand and the chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say? To shreds, you say?
I mean, yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of the courtroom number 3. I want to see an Ace Attorney prequel where the judge looks younger by like 40 years, but he still looks exactly the same. Like the judge is like age 3, he just had a long gray beard and a bald head.
I think he means poker face.
Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Unless they got, like, dashed to the floor when the guy was, bonked with a, you know, like that.
Probably went like...
A body has been discovered!
That's the exact order of events right there.
Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
I already know part of it's wrong. That fateful night. It doesn't let me skip the dialogue anymore when it's like going up there. I might have changed settings for that. The victim is strangling him to death. I don't even need to, you know. Objection! There we go. Oh, really? Dad, this is my name. No, strangled, you say? That's odd. Dad, normally customers only choke on Bosch. No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss O'Reilly. Miss O'Reilly. Really now? Did you witness the crime? I love that little animation there. I think the animated space turning are really good at instilling character into each of their little freak-out things.
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yes, it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor.
Ah.
Here's a photo we took with the victim of his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit.
Crime photo 2 out of the court record. But I've seen it happen.
Hey, law bitch, welcome to the stream. How you doing? I'm doing just fine.
Phoenix Wright is on trial for murder. And we got a new kid defending him. Also, it's 7 years after the third game. As for why, we'll find out eventually. I think. The defendant, he lunged at the victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss O'Reilly? I think I caught you in your own lie this time.
Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more.
What do you mean? I found a contradiction.
There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination.
There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it.
There's such a thing as thinking out loud too much, too.
Okay, he hit him with the bottle. The locket on his neck. Let's see. Is there a locket on his neck right here? Okay, so there is one here. Phoenix, I think, has it normally. I like how the justice has been the same no matter what. Yeah, classic murder case, the familiar courtroom. Exactly. Back to basics. Very good stuff. Now, let's see. His locket? I believe it was a good luck charm, da. He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though he might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have been much lift.
The defendant would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket?
Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that.
No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it is.
It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society.
Hard of hearing or hard of understanding?
So what happened next?
You didn't say anything about hitting before. Sorry, I must be forgetting this, We're loving a decent chunk of the sprites in the game. Yeah, I think they do a really good job of expressing the character.
Witness, you will take greater care with your testimony.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. And that clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant made the strangle his victim, then changed his mind, and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely.
So he strangled him, then hit him? Something's fishy about all this. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do.
Right, sir. Leave it to me.
There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. Victim Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and... If Mr. Wright isn't the killer...
Got you now, O'Reilly.
No cards for the game. The players played with hats on. Then, wait, how did he... Hat removed during Okay, never mind. Let me see. Oh... Let's try this. Okay, good. You know, there was one curious partner testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean?
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on a locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
No, but look at this photograph. No, but
look at this photograph!
Do you see a locket on the victim's neck?
Well done, Justice.
I'm impressed.
I knew you'd be able to handle this.
But what does it mean?
If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor.
It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no?
Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean...
The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it?
You tried getting into singing? I mean, I've tried a little bit. For the most part, I think it's like... I would probably be able to do it if I devoted a lot of time to it, but it's one of those things where it's like... If I'm already, you know, trying to do voice acting stuff and also art stuff, I need to prioritize my time. Like, I'm not even great at those at the moment. So maybe once I get a little more in-depth with, like, just the way I draw and the way I act, at that point I probably would try it. But for now, I'm going to mainly work on the other two.
Ah! Hey!
But why was he taking off the locket?
The defendant! What do you have to say to this?
Well, if you notice, he has the locket on that was in the other picture, but that's not the point.
Say,
Yes?
I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you?
Yep. Oh, you mean this? Yeah, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter.
Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed that at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence?
You tell me.
You seem like a bit of that child for it. I mean, I'll give it a shot, definitely. It's like, I was once told that I've never managed to hit the same note twice in a song, so that's probably something to work on. Because are a lot smarter in the game than the others. Yeah, so far they're doing pretty well. At the very least, the judge is a little more observant.
Well now, if the result of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost. Badly.
Miss O'Reilly, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant.
Like how Phoenix is always a suspect in some aspects. Yep, and this is, I think, the first time he's been directly, like, full-on accused outside of, like, maybe the Turnabout Sisters, where he was, like, or, wait. The second case of the first game, let's just go with that. Second case of the first game, because that's the one
where at the end of it, technically he was the defendant, but also kinda not. Anyway. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who is winning... it was the victim. For last time, defendant play with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Ah, how many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I done. A common tale, but true.
Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Serious competition. 3,500 points and chips for each man. Actually, wait, hold on. Small and large. Winning die was the victim. Defendant play with all chips on the table and lose. Okay, hold on. Let's check some things. But how much are each chip worth? Because if the small chips are worth more than the large chips, there's a decent chance that Phoenix had more. Hold on. So tell me about that. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used? Duh, of course. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press... Oh, fishy with these chips? Yeah. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips? Explain? What is that to be explained? I went after so many false accusations. Well, technically he's not a lawyer anymore. We don't know why. But, yeah. He's now a professional poker player. Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips, not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop, not a... Okay, yeah, things that rhyme. We got it. Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I better ask her something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Yet, as I've been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for the capitalists to understand. Okay, now I wonder what the joke was in Japanese. 2 types of chip. 100 points chip and 1,000 points chip. It's not money, da.
Justice?
Sir! Don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir.
I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add to her testimony?
Yep. Yes, I do think that this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Like what your high-paying job for gambling. He didn't quit, apparently. I think he was fired. I don't think he would have quit.
Very well. Witness, if you would be so kind.
Like, if you have your license to be a lawyer taken away, you can't be a lawyer anymore. I think that's probably what happened. Da, Your Honor. Okay, one is worth 100, the other kind is worth 1,000. Would you care to explain which ones are which? Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why.
Mr. Justice, the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. You are not in kindergarten.
Sorry, I'm fine. Gotta think of something to ask. And quick. The 2 types of chips. The small ones are 100 and the big ones are 1,000. Right? Right, of course. Ah!
Don't waste our time. Is that all?
Yeah. Great, Mr. Gavin made me stop her, now I'm the one who looks dumb.
Oh, Justice, please try not to embarrass me like that.
Huh? Who? Me?
There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands.
What?
It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it.
Yeah, I know where he's going with this. Japan is not a communist country, it's a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary democracy. So I imagine it's the same joke, or just very heavy-handed capitalism joke. Okay, yeah. Calculation. I'm positive this is the answer. You sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure? It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won, if you're not in kindergarten. I don't know. Seems a little sus there. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. I'm colorblind. What? In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh! Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. The totals? Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct. They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo. Look at this that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up... How much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness! Utter madness! Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Uh-huh. Really makes you wonder how far this would go in like an actual like court case. Would they just... I feel like they'd figure it out immediately. Don't inhale water, kids. Not what you should do. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. Wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. No, it changes everything. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Yeah. But they're not the higher number of points. Guys, were you listening at all? Yep, there we go. We should really react to those really weird lawyer reacts to Phoenix Wright vids and figure it out. I've heard a lot of them say, like, none of this would ever fly in court and whatnot. And then, like, the whole, like... Did you ever see that one clip where it's like, I will now cross-examine the witness's pet parrot? And them reacting to that, they're like, this would get... Everyone in this room should be put in jail or have their license suspended. Honestly, reasonable. Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant had 4,100 points. Well now. It seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible! My client had even less reason to kill the victim. Everyone in this room is legally and mentally fucking absurd. Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's part of why it's so fun. After all, he was winning. Yarg!
Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips. Since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you?
Ah, eek.
There it is.
Order! Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. And Mr. White's supposed defeat never happened.
Like, I'm pretty sure you'd be immediately escorted out if you crashed out. Yeah, if you started screaming, I think that would just, like, get the bailiff to shoot you. You know?
Bailiff, please shoot that man. We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust this testimony. Excuse me? What is it, Mr. O'Reilly?
I did not want to be saying this, but actually, you see,
See what, Miss O'Reilly? What do we see?
in the last hand, there was a cheat.
A cheat? You don't mean...
It's like Von Karma bashing his head and yelling threats, or the female Von Karma whipping the desk threateningly. Yeah, they would get thrown out of court for that. She would get thrown out of court for having a weapon. It would be crazy.
A trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam?
They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheat in the last hand. That's why game ends with chips the way they are. Great, just great. First way of lying, now cheating.
Well, this case certainly is taking a turn.
Oh, let's see. Can we figure out what the cheat was?
Huh. I mean, I don't think there's a cheat. From what I'm seeing. Looks fine to me. Really interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
Oh. The final hand. The last hand, both men had a full house. There is a 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. Da! The defendant's tricks was exposed. He took a bottle in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Miss O'Reilly, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers.
A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? 3 of one card and 2 of another. Come on, dude.
Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker. I can't say this bodes well for your case. Or career.
What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring?
Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes?
Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind.
Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house.
Well, there was even live possession in court. That should probably cancel the damn trial completely. Yeah, we had a ghost as the witness and defendant once. A couple times, really. Crazy shit. Doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. They both had a full house. Yeah. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget, there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Guys, cheaters never win. Unless no one finds out, at which point they probably do. Both men of the full house, true. 4 of each card in the deck from ace to king. True. Look at both men's hands. Cheat is more obvious. It's not. Why does Spirit Medium even assist the lawyer every time? Why doesn't the prosecutor have anyone on their side too? Because they just... To be fair, it's not like the state provides a Spirit Medium, it's just that we happen to find one. If they wanted to get a Spirit Medium, they were more than welcome to go get one. How is it clear?
Well, the defendant... He played a 5th ace.
What? A 5th ace?
I still remember both hands very well.
Mrs. Smith has 3 aces, that's wrong.
Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand.
Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony, without Mr. Payne's joke.
Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony, please.
Someone even brought circus gear into the damn courtroom. Yeah. Yeah, at one point we had a lion as evidence. Or maybe not the lion, but like something like that as evidence. I don't know. I guess we didn't bring the lion in, but still. Yeah, so this is just flat out wrong. The guy had 3 kings. And not 3 aces. So... Why would you even lie about that? It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name is Miss O'Reilly.
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony.
That's the photo of the chips, is it not?
Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point.
Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony?
Miss O'Reilly, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Someone even fried their face off with a damn Cyclops visor and threw coffee at people several times. That's true, yeah, technically that's even assault, you know, it's crazy. Godot was nuts. But like in a fun way.
Eek. Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom.
2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please. It is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin,
who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead?
Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion.
What might that be, Mr. Gavin?
If you don't mind. Perhaps we might examine the actual cards? Yeah, realistically, nobody should still be a lawyer working in the field of law. Everyone should be arrested and put into court themselves. Exactly! Put into Arkham Asylum. Hell, the judges themselves, yeah, the judge has done some really weird shit at some points. Exactly. Also, the updated autopsy report. Good God. I love this series, but man, it is not court accurate.
The cards? Mr. Payne?
Yes. The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court.
Very well, the prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards?
These cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? Let's go with the victim's hand. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards.
Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well. Received evidence. The victim's hand.
Well, time's a-wasting. Get to it, Justice.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. By using RS, 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 RS to turn it in every which way and Y and X to zoom in and out. That should give you a better perspective on the case.
Okay, let's do this.
Oh-ho!
What? How can you be a lawyer if you're the one being questioned as a witness? Yeah, Edward's rigging evidence in his favor would immediately gotten him punished. They even point that out in the game that, like, they were like, oh, I think Edgeworth rigs evidence, and he's like, no, I did not, and then it turned out eventually at some points he did because he didn't realize it was rigged evidence. Your Honor, look at this! One of the victim's cards, the back is a different color! Ah! That's impossible! But I put that card in Wright's hand. Ugh.
What was that, Miss O'Reilly?
No, yet. I merely said that I have...
Your Honor? Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say? The dealer. Ah! Ah!
Wait, so you mean... This witness, Miss O'Reilly...
She's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager.
Yeah!
Order! Order!
Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. What? Whoa, whoa, dial that one back, buddy. I mean, of her mistake. What was that about, Apollo? Granted, I slip up a lot too, but that sounded a little weird, dude. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. I put that card in Wright's hand. Ergo, Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Oh! Da 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 do. Da 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 do. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine that an altercation between her and the victim...
What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness? Isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, are you?
Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, then that means... I am. Wait, no, I'm not. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, of murder. Eek. And she's dead. She died just now.
Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly? It appears she has lost, consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice?
Your Honor?
It seems you've presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith.
And that means?
This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time.
Think! What? I did it! I held out!
I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Why is nobody calling an ambulance? Is the guy... Oh, well... I mean, she'll survive, probably. We all survived death a little bit. She just passed out. Yep, but hey, the borscht didn't spill, so I'd say she's fine. Mr. Wright? You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet.
What nonsense is the defense spewing now?
Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means?
What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous! Mr. Payne, you of all people should know Mr. Wright is a talent. for the ridiculous. You of all people should know Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before! The 2 decks at the club have different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck. Why use different colored backs? Well, if we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed. You use different colors and they still got mixed up. We used the red deck for the last game. I see. But that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. Wow, wonder who said something about blue. That's weird. Anyway. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Right? Ridiculous? Have I seen this court? We're all ridiculous in this court. This is a wacky land for wacky people. I'm not even sure if it's Japan. This is some straight up, like, if this was LA, you know what? I believe it. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Ah, the great state of Japanifornia. Annexed in 1791. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think. In the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are 3 broad possibilities here. Could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah. Thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? Let's say... after. Perhaps it happened after the murder? What's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly. Yes, but tell me. How do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. That's like the series tagline right there. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Actually true. That's correct. Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. Oh, quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. As is normal, yeah. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? It's one of the mysteries before us. There's another? Yes. A simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room. Alive, that is. This man's sweating bullets. Give this man some water. Or a different gun. You know? The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga O'Reilly. This whole damn game series is impossible and crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's the name of the game. So who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? The one who swapped the cards for cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga O'Reilly either. What are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit.
As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card.
And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking about how much fun this all is. All this is.
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss O'Reilly, then who was it?
Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction.
A new direction?
We'll find that, indeed, after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure that you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know the two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. That person who replaced the fifth ace with a king. Sure, whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. You might laugh like this will always be strange. Even a man in his blue suit. Yeah, he's in his depressed hobo phase. We need to get him back to his, like, happy lawyer phase.
But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist.
True. Not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime.
What?
I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright.
This trial is proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room.
I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption?
The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court.
I suppose that is a problem, yes.
Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes.
I like how there's a painting of the judge, like, in the hallway at the thing, courthouse. April 20th, 11:52 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. That was quite unexpected of Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Ah, being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Again, Wright acting like this still feels so abnormal. Yeah, it's so weird. If that's gonna be someone you love, trust me, he's a fun character. Oh, I bet, yeah. I mean, I have played the first trial of this, so I know some stuff. But outside of that, yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. Justice? Yes, sir? The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering what the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. It's a picture of my daughter in there. Yep, there she is. I'm Just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did. Not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never... Honest. But... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Wanna know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Huh? You see, poker's all about reading your opponent. That way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding! That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? No. Come on, who'd notice that? Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will. Soon. Almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it! I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? As Dotadoya would put, I got the reads. Welcome to my visual novel. That's what poker is by his explanation. Welcome to my novel. That's pretty good. Kristoff's acting like a more calm, calculating Edgeworth. Seriously, he's such an interesting guy. Yeah, I like him so far. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. To be continued. But I'll continue right now. I'll be going for a little... I'll probably be on until I finish this episode, like, until I finish this, this part of the game. Yes. April 20th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she was regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again.
That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. Honestly, you'd think that, if Edgeworth was still around, he'd want to prosecute Phoenix's case. Just to, I don't know, do it. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser.
Yeah. Not...
Ah.
Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly.
Oh. Really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like O'Reilly.
Oh, I actually was right in guessing that. I don't remember that.
There, that's the truth. Hope you're satisfied.
Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Not that that actually means anything in this world, but you are under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress.
So you were in cahoots with the victim?
Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand. And then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When the hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut.
You swapped the cards!
Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast out in all his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan.
Oh really, oh really? How droll.
But it appears you made quite the mistake.
A mistake?
I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right! No, I'm right. Shut up.
He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be slip-free. You'd have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly.
Oh, really? They're gonna keep doing this joke, aren't they? I mean, I find it funny, but like, you know, they're gonna keep doing this joke, aren't they? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind stick.
Cute. Who wants to be cute?
I think she's kinda cute.
I'm not cute. I'm bad, you hear me? Bad!
I don't know, I think she's kinda cute. I think she pulls it off. I know it's like a pirate with the bandana, but you know, I can work with that. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
Feels like a dragon version of one of your dad jokes. Yeah, but like, in fairness, I make the same jokes constantly. I can't really call him on that. But you know, well, yeah. Best laid traps.
That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me with Smith. It was that no-good cheating defendant.
Be a baddie while being good. Oh, she's a baddie, alright.
A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
Hey, Nurse's Ball, welcome to the stream. How you doing? The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. If that rotten cheetah hadn't messed it up.
Look who's talking.
Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice.
Witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors?
Yeah, for better or worse, he'll prosecute himself.
Lost last hand like you're supposed to. Smith searched him. On the trap failed. Picked the bottle and swung it. It was me with Smith, it was that no good cheating defendant. Wait, isn't that a little odd?
What's odd?
You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim.
What? Well,
Oh? One of the very few people I know on the internet that actually laugh at the dad jokes. I think they're pretty good. Yeah, I like them. What was that just now? I sensed something.
Something wrong, Mr. Justice?
No, nothing, Your Honor. Should I press her a little harder? The answer is always yes. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something.
What are you talking about? You? Me? Quick thing is O'Reilly hiding something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw him right hit him. With my own eyes I saw it.
What's this weird vibe I'm getting? She has failed the vibe check. That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. You touched the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. You notice? Touching her neck, was it?
By the eye of God.
Whoa, what's going on? Sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Gotcha! Perception check. Me and my boys are gonna perceive your trick. I rolled a 1, I rolled a 1. Fuck. Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what?
What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual. Let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us.
Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. Usually physical tells for liars, whether it be eye movement or twitching motions. Yep. I like that they brought that into this. It adds like a cool element to the trials that wasn't really there before. Especially because I don't think Apollo has psych locks. So this is kind of like that, but for him. I believe the weapon that left an erasable impression on your neck was this. The weapon? Well, let's see. Could have been this, I guess. I mean, maybe? In terms of weapons, this is all I got. I think. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What's he talking about now?
It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant.
Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now is our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, I know nothing.
Back to this, huh?
We know you're not Russian.
The witness will testify, please. Now.
Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there.
Wright picked up the bottle and swung it.
You're hiding something, and that habit of yours proves it. Ha! Ludicrous! I'm not hiding anything. You touched your neck again. Ah! It's no use trying to hide it. I can see right through you. You seem uneasy. You try standing up here. Your eyes are darting all over the place. It must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, he must have been stunned by the way. Oh, it's the cell phone, right? Because that's. He went away from the room to go call. Logically, she wouldn't have been able to keep an eye on him if she stayed in the room. He must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came.
Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony?
I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence.
What? What's that? Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Justice. This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony.
She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. It's the phone. Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Dick! And the Borscht Bowl fell behind her. Man, that could have been a good meal and she ruined it. The man who picked up the bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Gotta love how artsy this little intro was. Showdown time.
You dirty cheat! Check his pockets now!
It's gone! The card's gone!
You lose.
Arrgh! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to Wright, and he hit me.
You! Some master cheating! Some master cheating you turned out to be!
Eek! His art style for moments like that are so nice. Yeah, they really add something to the scene. When I came to,
The victim was already dead. Is that it?
that's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure.
Well, where does this leave us?
Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! It must have been me who was hit by a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It would be really funny if all of Ace Attorney was just, like, this guy's imagination.
It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end. Frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events?
Mr. Gavin? Sir?
I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big, fat liar.
What?
We were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive.
A motive?
Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder.
What? I didn't. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Somebody's trying to frame me.
What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process.
Mr. Wright?
Such a hasty conclusion. Sound like you, Christoph Gavin.
What are you saying?
Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before the recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colors of cards were being used. A fourth person.
Ah, this theory again. Your fourth person doesn't exist.
Say it in red. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal.
The real criminal?
And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about? Sorry. Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right, but how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet there was one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I had that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was?
It's not me, I swear.
Who is this fourth person?
Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Well, here we are. Hold on. Let me... If I can see the... there. Phoenix is 33, as expected. So yeah, this is 7 years after, Trials and Tribulations. They said they were colorblind. Yep. Actually, wait, is it? I think about it. Wait, so... Phoenix is 7 years older than Maya. In Trials and Tribulations, he was, 26. Yeah, okay, so yeah. 7 years after Trials and Tribulations. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. Can't tell which of the cards are blue. One's on the floor or on the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. And as we all know, there's no way he could have seen the evidence before the trial. That would be crazy. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yep, already said that. A game, pure sense. Competition, Your Honor.
Competition?
As to wits, silence clash passions, only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, knew this final outcome. Yep. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden.
Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph, you know, even I'd never take a joke this far. And I love making jokes.
This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb, beyond insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder?
It's a first. I assure you, I'm quite sane. Apartment complex? I find it quite simple.
But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what if they have?
Huh?
There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin, testimony is what's related to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related?
I'm the defense attorney, so you can fuck right off. I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly... You know, Blue Beanie just feels so weird. It is weird, but I feel like I feel like it works for showing that Phoenix is just kind of out of it right now. He's going through some stuff. Doesn't have his, I don't even know what shade of blue it is, suit, but, you know, the shade of blue that it is. Like sapphire blue or something. The sharp-ass blue suit. I love the suit.
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh, okay.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? What?
Okay. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court.
8-2, Justice? You would betray me, your teacher?
Sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please.
The same blue as what I'm wearing. I mean, it probably is, but like... I actually don't know what shade of blue this is, technically. But yeah, it's, what was I gonna say? This shade of blue, I think it's the same shade I used for, like, part of my eyes. Might be a little hard to see in this resolution, but yeah, I think it's something like that. Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. J.D. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut in his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to the defense attorney, Gavin.
Mr. Gavin? You were at the Borscht Bowl Club at the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
Did he talk to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him.
You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now.
Most people are like saying royal blue like your eyes. Okay, that makes sense. I always thought royal blue was a little more purpley, but I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm just wrong in that. Well, it's like, I also don't know the names of like all the colors. I just kind of go by like, hey, that color looks cool, I should use that one. And that's about it. That's my system.
I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice?
Sir?
He's lying and you're going to expose him.
Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Appetite before murder. Okay, yep. Sat at the table in the photograph. Walked in 5 minutes after he left. The trap failed. Smith hit the waitress. That's, yep.
Earl was knocked out cold, Smith was uncontrollable, we'll have to call the police. When returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut in his forehead. I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Let's see. Let's go, but let's not present anything yet. Let's press him. I thought indigo was a very dark blue about to turn purple, but it looks like it's a lot brighter shade of purple than I thought. I thought that too because of the flowers. But like indigo flowers are like a little purpley, but like I guess they're supposed to be more like slightly more purple or whatever. I don't know. It's like that and violets I get mixed up a bit. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time. That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that.
I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall?
It does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Oh, it would be. If that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga O'Reilly mentioned. I love that way because of crayons and the damn documents of colors in indigo, but it must have been stupid as shit back then or mislabeled. Probably mislabeled. Honestly, I feel like most people don't really know what color things are. We just all kind of say like, oh, that's probably like, I don't know, sky blue, even though the blue kind of varies in shade across the sky, and then like, sapphire blue, sapphires have different shades. Simple, elegant trap of sorts. Wright's pocket. Bill made 5 aces during one of their games. And a card and trap with snapshot. That's how it was supposed to work. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Yes. A harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk?
Yes, like My Hero Academia. Oh god. I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted! Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of Hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
It was an empty bottle of grape juice that I've been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice?
Those are like numbers. Guesstimating them is fine. Yeah, pretty much. As long as you're, like, ballparking it, everyone's fine. Like, his vest is clearly red. But, like, can I tell you what shade of red? Nope. Not the same shade of red as my hair. Or my shirt. But, you know, it's red. Same thing as, like, his shirt is white, but, like, what shade of white? Eggshell? Snow? If that is even a shade of white? I don't know. Murder weapon? Yeah, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see.
A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama.
A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look.
Mr. Wright, the pokerhead of courtroom number 3 approves this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information.
The bottle is completely empty. Yep, okay. Nick Paul has a light cherry red vest shirt with a snow white shirt underneath. I don't know colors, people remember this shit. His shirt is, chartreuse. It's like, what the hell is chartreuse? Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes?
I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. Huh? No?
What, Mr. Wright? Surely ... isn't all you have to say for yourself.
I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out? Oh, and a sixth person could have helped. I remember Chartreuse from Coraline. I haven't seen Coraline because I thought it was like a creepy looking movie. And I was right, but like... Yeah, I've heard it's... Isn't that the one with the buttons for eyes?
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? That's a term. Hoodwinking. I haven't heard that in a long time. Since that movie Hoodwinked, actually. The one that no one... Like, do people like Hoodwinked? A lot of people were kind of like iffy on it. Or did the card just disappear?
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh. Oh.
Push him hard.
Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? That's Coraline wrong. Coraline? Think of the correct move with the needle spider. Oh yeah, that one. Okay. Hmm. Hoodwinked is a hit or miss type of movie. I like that. I think it's underrated, but it's not for everyone. I remember liking it as well, but I also saw it like years and years and years ago. So like, who can really say if I'd still like it if I saw it now? Maybe I think it's like, oh, it's like Shrek, but not the same. Not this. Goes to the card in the bottle. Notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. What do I have for this? 5 minutes after Kristoff left. We already checked that. You at dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yeah, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot. As usual. Usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano.
I see.
Where Mr. Smith was sitting.
Where Mr. Smith was sitting. So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner?
Indeed. Remnants of my meal with Kristoff. We dined for 2 hours, then Kristoff left. After that... Okay... You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Cora is pronounced Cora, and the line part is obvious, so Coraline. Gotcha. Coraline. Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at the time? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night, after all. So, there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. And when you returned, the victim was already... dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in.
A little?
He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on the scene like that. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. And I figured... Trust me, the name mispronunciation thing is used gag in the movie, so they'll make sure you know the name by the end of it. Oh, yeah. And I figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees.
Oh, glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now.
Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? Truth has to be in there somewhere. Let's see. I can't present profiles yet. Let's see. What? Wait, is there a card clearly in this bottle? Nope. What about this one? Maybe someone took it out. There's no cap on it. But there is a cap on that one. No cap. Let's see. J. Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. Yeah. Dispose of it, the card and the bottle. I mean, I already presented this. What? I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew it was coming. Oh, so you struck first! I like that. I know every trick in the book. It'll work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick to your hand in your pocket, they don't. He did leave to call the police. When he returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut in his forehead. Yep. The defense attorney Gavin. Let me think. I mean, we already presented this. We disposed of it in the bottle, and this bottle's empty, then it's... What are we doing? Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. Wonder how well it goes with borscht. Need to examine that. Oh, here we go. Wow, the battery's being held with a piece of tape. You should just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it. Or he just doesn't care. Okay, but have you tried taking it off, maybe? God damn it. There's a number inscribed in the back of the badge. There are many numbers like it, but this one is mine. Proof that I'm an attorney. To tell the truth, I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it. Cardbacks are red. For some reason I thought they were using blue back cards in the final hand. Yep, alright. Shit, I'm out of stuff. Those are the cards in the bottle. But we know the bottle doesn't have anything in it. So... Objection! Again? Right, if I may? Yeah? No? Okay, so yeah. What happened to the card? I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh?
Yeah, back to this. Okay, please is gonna cause examination. Instructions harder, justice, break him. What if let me see. This is when the crime took place. And this was... Okay, if this was when the crime took place, then the game feels sometimes we can lose track of it. I'm starting to lose it now. Worst part is I've done this case before, but like I don't remember what the thing is. Maybe this? Because then... I'm trying not to forget experience. Yeah. He had a cut in his forehead. That much is obvious. Wait. During investigation? Hold on a minute. Okay, I think I got it. Objection! Fuck! That wasn't it. I fucked up. I fucked up. God damn it. God damn it. No points with the judge. I mean, it was streaming from blood cut in his forehead, but why did he know that? Is it this then? Objection! Oh, okay. Wrong picture! God damn it! Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photo. Take a look at this photo of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood in his forehead. Good point. Justice, next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, could you explain this to the court? I forgot to mention something. I was the one to put that hat in his head. Huh? You? You put the hat in this dead man's head? It wore through our entire poker game. Calling the police when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph. And? I picked his hat up off the floor and just put it on his head. Wait, why would you do such a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Mr. Willie didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Oh, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he? I believe that's enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago. Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. At this point, I don't know who the hell is guilty or innocent. Oh, you'll see! I believe it was you who threw the first stone. Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell me the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Huh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. When I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation. What's this?
Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. First off, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? Turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china pate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. Cops should be here any minute. More evidence! I'm in your hands. Did it come to that? Bone china plate? A kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate, but pate. Or pate, I don't know. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Judge is bald? Something's not right about that phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club. He left the Borscht Bowl Club? He's smart to record the call. Indeed, especially when, like, Gavin was very likely the killer. Most certainly. Then, how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate? Pate, whatever it is. Pate, let's go with Pate. Oh, that's right! Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head, again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? Why'd you bring a slightly less dilfed and clean-shaven Mr. Clean? This ain't Mr. Clean, it's Mr. Dirty. He was a criminal. So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix Wright. Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne! Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, Very well, we'll break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Gonna be able to finish this entire trial today? We should be, because I think we're pretty close to the end of it. But that's me thinking. I'm almost positive by my memory we're almost done. Crystal clear, Your Honor. Very well. This will be the final recess for the day. I think as far as first cases go for the games, this is one of the best ones. This and like the one from the third game. April 20th, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Who would have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
What's all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely and the game is yours. That's all.
Man, if I had a nickel for every murder mystery visual novel I'm currently playing that has a magician girl in it, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
That is all.
An ace? Where do I remember that card from? 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2, 5 aces in all.
I've seen it. The 5th ace. It was cheating, I swear to you.
The missing 5th ace! Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
This bloodstained card.
Is my trump card for finding the truth? Indeed. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Her father? Yeah? Bloody Ace added to the court record. Dude, Bloody Ace would be an awesome name for a band. April 20th, 2:45 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Will Mr. The witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Fine, I'll play along. First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright? Oh, it's playing this music, let's go! What do you think you're doing, Wright? Oh, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo. Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit! Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. Bloody Ace is a good name, period. Games, bands, warriors, all of it, yeah. Fuck, my name should be Bloody Ace. What's this moment? Prayer for a heavily powerful slam. Exactly! The Bazimba Slam, or whatever it's called. Pepega Slam, something like that. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout, at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin? I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. Really? What? Oh, I assure you I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Arrowhead, the android blood ace sounds not— yeah, that sounds pretty cool. The android bloody ace. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? That fateful night. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So you witnessed the murder? For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed. Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness's stand after all. The witness stand after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Get it, Apollo? Window? Oh.
Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Even though he probably could represent himself if he wanted. Which, I guess there's a reason why he didn't. Mr. Justice, are you prepared?
Yes, Your Honor. Can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Little window to the hideout. Must have been right after the murder took place. Victim was dead as he appears in the photo. Bald head, unconscious girl. Let's see. The little window to the hideout. Let's see. Can I prove that this didn't work? Basement peeked in through the little window to the hideout. Troubled me, so I returned to the club. Does it say what time he called him? Because that would remove the suspicion immediately. Already looked at that. Alright. Single drop of blood marks the front of the card. The rage he sensed in that night. Why would he be angry? Went into the basement, peeked into the window. Let's go with this. The little window? You mean the one you used to keep watch upstairs? Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The Black Marketeers used it, I believe. Why did you go through the trouble of peeking through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into that room? I didn't want to upset Wright, you see. Upset Mr. Wright? Yes. What if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least. So far everything he's saying makes sense. That man, you mean Mr. Smith? He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that.
So then you knew the true nature of your client's job?
Of course, but I also knew that he wasn't engaged in gambling, which would be illegal. Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends, after all. Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score.
I see. What happened then?
Peeked into the window. How do you know it was right after the murder? Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Ah, there he is. Coolest defense in the West. We know and love. Even when you're just standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid that you'd change too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours. With friends like these, who needs enemies? The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. Which photo? By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene? Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead. And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us?
A bald head, an unconscious girl, and... Alright. Pretty much something everything in this game's universe is solved by fury-fueled desk slams. Whoever's stronger to slam wins the argument. Honestly, might as well be the way things are solved.
Pretty accurate.
Those are the only 3 at the scene of the crime?
Yes, as far as I saw at least.
Then we're back where we started. The killer wants the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Justice, I just said I saw no one. Not a soul.
But it goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Ah, yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose?
Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin.
Let me pose a question, then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap the cards in the victim's hands?
Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary. Can I show something I can't find myself?
Remember, Apollo? The card that was swapped out was the 5th ace.
5th ace, right.
Well, Mr. Justice?
Maybe they just opened the card pack in Balatro.
The question of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
Yes. It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out.
Then go ahead and point to your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace?
My reason is, this.
Is that an ace?
Why? Why, it's got blood on it! Right next to the spade!
What? Seeing Phoenix on the defense side without his suit feels so damn weird. Yeah, and just seeing him at all, because they didn't really, like, show him physically in the other games unless he was, like, desk slamming. Usually it's first person outside of the little trial bits.
This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this?
Why wasn't I told about any of the other evidence? So you can play that game, Payne.
Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable. How could you... What are you doing with that card?
Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl.
Oh, that card? Mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all. No, no! Impossible! Unacceptable! The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. Fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer.
I like how unconfident Apollo sounds when presenting evidence. Like, does this work? He's new to this after all, you know, he's gotta earn his wings.
Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? Reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at the photo, and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen onto one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible.
Oh? Right? Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later.
Seeing his smooth and calm demeanor cracked by his smile twitching and the added roughness sells it so well. Yeah, it's showing that he's on the ropes. And that he's probably definitely the killer.
What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see?
This is baseless conjecture. Baseless. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I assure you it's quite based.
There it is, boys! I fucking love that line! Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. Love it! Even mentioned how absurd this shit is with him withholding evidence. Yeah, but to be fair, the prosecution does that all the time. What if the conversation of them discussing the logic of their legal system would have been like, so you could just take evidence and not show it during trial? Does that work? And then it's like, sure, why not? What? It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood in a single card can lead us to the truth. Yo, the goat is coming back! The point, the icon, the pose! And him saying, I assure you, it's quite based. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. Ah! You were 3D for a second. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood in the card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit. The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses, whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card. Go with the killer. Well, for one thing, the killer's in the wrong place. I think. You think? Mr. Justice, your job here is not to think, but to know. Just looking at you reminds me of the old days. Not the good old days, per se. 3 assets in the game feel so weird to think about. Even weirder is that games 5 and 6 of the main, like, 6 hexology or whatever it would be, are actually all 3D. Good old penalty sound. Oh, man. One more time. Functionally, I have to get it right at least once. So it's the victim. Isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Okay, that's about what I was thinking, yep. Like you're doing a more normal-sounding Cabanel impression for Phoenix talking. It really is essentially just my normal voice, but a little calmer than I normally am. Because I'm always like, yeah, let's fucking go! And this is like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, something like that. I'm pretty sure that there's a desk slam that's in 3D that's arguably the best desk slam in the entire series. I can't wait, it's gonna be great. Take a look at the photo again. If you bled in this position, blood would fall onto the floor, not onto the cards. Why, that's right! So what does this all mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. There we go. The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. And the desk slam isn't even done with the hands, it's a desk stomp, a kick if you will. Ooh, with feet. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away? Second witness, because he can't see the head. Doesn't make sense, it's the second witness. You mean to say I don't make sense? Oh, no, of course you do, sir.
As I thought.
Help. Oh, what? Bullshit, he couldn't have seen that.
Mr. Justice, I'm a little hard of hearing. Did you just say something? Would you be kind enough to show the court one more time what you mean?
Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Yep. Alright, killer. 'Tis the killer. They would have to be in the closet or something. Victim was struck on the front, correct?
Indeed.
Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front?
Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it'd be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game?
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
Something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting, as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Try marking it on the diagram.
What?
There's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Think it through and see what we can find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing to strike our victim from the front? Yeah, there.
Well, the killer had to be standing, well, here. He had points for flair, but that's about all you get.
I thought I was onto something there, too.
I really need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ah!
It's simple logic, really. This was the only place the killer could have been standing. That means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know! The moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there!
What's this now?
I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout. Immediately.
Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard.
Ah, Your Honor.
What?
There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give them this. Please give this to the bailiff.
Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
I do my best. But let's forge ahead here, while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. The killer was standing here at the time of the crime, and this cupboard wasn't here. Which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Yep, blocking the hole, which means Kristoff couldn't have seen it through the hole. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. Time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my. What's this?
What is it now?
Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang! Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime?
The damn fact that Wright needed just an extra push to get back to his mostly old self is so satisfying to see. Yeah. He's there. He's got it if he wants. He just doesn't necessarily want it. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs.
Ah!
That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin.
What? What did you say?
Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool?
Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right?
It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was. While the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court. Exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of law and I will have order! We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard and the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Oh, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What? Engine's getting white hot. Yeah. This is a really good trial, I'll say that. Yes. I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. The secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings on. Fuck. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room is a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. A little bit longer than the old games. This is certainly one of the longest first trials in the series. See where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card. The last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for the few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard. Holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. But like, why did he kill him, though? That's the other thing. Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. Miss Olga O'Reilly was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look, and after the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Apparently some of the trials are a total of 5 hours long. This is going to be some Danganronpa series at this rate. This will be interesting, definitely. I mean, the other Ace Attorney games all took around, like, 17 to 20-something stuff, so decent chance this does wind up being one of the longest ones. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne? Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Quack! Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately. Objection! Oh, what now? Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. This trial is roughly 2 hours long, yeah. Almost 3 at this point. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence?
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking? How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were, upside down.
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court and this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold the bottle upside down. Legal evidence. Everything here is illegal. Exactly! That's the point, law bitch. You understand. This game is nonsense, but it's really fun. Never try any of this in actual court. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor. See how the caught fish squirms to the last. Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to gulp? To drink it, exactly. Don't let him trick you into thinking that his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words?
It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions, indeed. Well, Mr. Justice?
Mr. Gavin said that the court and this case demand an explanation. I'm pretty sure doing anything in the actual series in an actual courtroom is a surefire way to either lose your legal license or go to jail. Pretty much, yeah. Don't worry. Justice won't leave until this justice is done. Justice won't leave until justice is done.
Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court? What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down?
It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair.
Excuse me? On the floor?
Yes. Now reach down and pick it up, without getting out of your chair.
Ah!
See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Apollo speaking facts, just fucking say what you mean. Exactly. Everyone is, well, obviously this is game and they need to let the player figure it out, but I will say, the fact that in this also goes for Danganronpa with like, you know, Chiaki and Kyoko, where they're like, I think they'll figure it out, and then like Hajime and Makoto are like, the fuck we will, what are you talking about? Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times.
Wow! I can't believe it was that simple.
Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. Then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Voice changed like 5 times trying to say photograph.
Look at this photograph! Order! 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 What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, As I thought. More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Ah, yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What, are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle wouldn't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. You're right. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. There it is, boys! There's something inside the bottle. Book. Oh, it's a screw. Oh. To be fair, if he's a world-renowned for literally being a literal ace attorney lawyer, how did you expect things to go smooth for you? Exactly, yeah. What is this? That card. It can't be. Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. What are you calling unpleasant? Or Miss Olga, really? Yes, our little swindling Devotchka. Yeah, playing the card supposed to is 5 of hearts. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found that it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? It was an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin! Oh god, the borscht is flying up! That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 70 years ago? That passes like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right? This is insane! What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? No, you do not. I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin is a man with much significance for me.
both as a friend and a lawyer.
He was extremely talented, to be sure.
I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo.
Me?
This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright! Jesse!
Our work lies ahead of us. And I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
Think they keep the confetti for all verdicts or just that one?
Court is adjourned.
April 20th, 4:28 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Feels dragging on for a bit. Yeah, I thought this would end in 2 hours, honestly. Thanks, Apollo. Came through just like I thought you would. Pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gav... the killer. Couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your... ability? Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... Yep. The thing where he sees their neck. What was that, Mr. Wright? You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer... Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture was in your locket. I forgot, did he ever do the desk slam? I don't think so yet. He probably will later. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Huh? Took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. But why did he have a picture of his daughter? You testified that that locket was yours! I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then, why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? Huh? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. Not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. Does explain why the grown-ass man had your daughter's photo in the locket. Yeah, that's weird. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There's a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. Just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence. I understand why people hate talking to me when I'm being extra. Holy shit. He definitely isn't spelling it out easily. Got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Even the wrong card in its place. Luckily for us. Court can't oh, we already read that, yep. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. And you really? Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and still call yourself an attorney. Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? It's true. Rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? Ah! I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, and about your uppercut, try yelling, "Take that," next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. What did he do? That's the question. We don't know. With that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. That's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law. And this is how my story begins. That's the end of the trial, 3 hours later. Really thought it was only going to be 2, but here we are. Let's see, how many saves do we get? Oh, actually we get, what was that, 10? Yeah, alright. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the end of this one. I have been Arrowhead, your favorite VTuber Android. My next stream is sometime this week. Keep an eye out for my schedule tomorrow to find out when. Have a lovely morning, day, or evening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And goodbye for now.